Hello, my friends. So here we are at lesson 4. We're starting to get more subtle. We went from lesson 1, that nothing I see, meaning the physical stuff that we're beholding, and then I have given everything that I see all the meaning that it has. Lesson 3, we're starting to unpack things that I don't understand anything I see. Lesson 4, we're going within. These thoughts do not mean anything. Any thought. They do not mean anything. Lesson 4. These thoughts do not mean anything. They are like the things I see in this room, parentheses, on this street, from this window, in this place. Unlike the preceding ones, these exercises do not begin with the idea for the day. And these practice periods begin with noting the thoughts that are crossing your mind for about a minute. Then apply the idea to them. If you are already aware of unhappy thoughts, use them as subjects for the idea. Do not, however, select only the thoughts you think are bad. You will find, if you train yourself to look at your thoughts, that they represent such a mixture that, in a sense, none of them can be called good or bad. This is why they do not mean anything. Thoughts. Just thoughts. This is, for some of you, might be your first introduction to a form of meditation. And it is simply watching the thoughts, not judging the thoughts, just knowing that in and of themselves, until they're assigned meaning, they don't mean anything. In selecting the subject for the application of today's idea, the usual specificity, I could try it one more time, but it still wouldn't come out right, is required. Do not be afraid to use good thoughts as well as bad, in air quotes, by the way. None of them represent your real thoughts, which are being covered up by them, and we'll get to that eventually, what your real thoughts are. I'll give you a hint. It has everything to do with God. It has everything to do with love. The good ones are but shadows of what lies beyond, and shadows make sight difficult. The bad ones are blocks to sight and make seeing impossible. You do not want either. This is a major exercise and will be repeated from time to time in somewhat different forms. The aim here is to train you in the first steps towards the goal of separating the meaningless from the meaningful. It is a first attempt in the long range of learning to see the meaningless as outside you, the world of our perception, and the meaningful within, deeply so, deeply within. It is also the beginning of training your mind to recognize what is the same and what is different. In using your thoughts for application of the idea for today, identify each thought by the central figure or event it contains. For example, this thought about this desk, this thought about my hand, this thought about my shirt, this thought about the wall over there, thought about this book over here, is like the things I see in this room or on the street or out the window, wherever I am. They do not mean anything. You can also use the idea for a particular thought that you recognize as harmful. This practice is useful, but it is not a substitute for the more random procedures to be followed for the exercise. Do not, however, examine your mind for more than a minute or so. You are too inexperienced as yet to avoid a tendency to become pointlessly preoccupied. Just a minute will do. In a relaxed fashion, I might add. Further, since these exercises are the first of their kind, you may find the suspension of judgment in connection with thoughts particularly difficult. Do not repeat these exercises more than 3 or 4 times during the day. You will return to them. We will return to them later. So, as a meditation teacher, let me assure you that you might find the suspension of judgment difficult. It doesn't matter. Difficulty doesn't matter. Just note, difficult, and let it go. Return to the exercise. Return to the meditation. This, my friends, is lesson 4. Thank you for joining me.